What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy and welcome back to the FPL review, where we look at the previous week's FPL game week and decide who did well, who didn't do well, and above all, what went on. It was quite an active week, to be fair. There were goals everywhere. I mean, Chelsea carried on their winning ways and basically won the title in February. Relegation fight, hopefully, to make this season a bit more exciting towards the end. We've also got Man City winning again. That man Jesus has spun back in with 2 more goals. Man United convincingly beat Leicester in a game which really showed the lack of N'Golo Kante in Leicester. And above all, taking out the Premier League, a win for Sheffield Wednesday, one step closer to the Premier League. Admittedly, there is a lot of steps and some of them are bigger than others, but we're close. But anyway, FPL review. Let's have a look at some of the best players, starting off as always with the goalkeepers. So the 4 best goalkeepers were like this. Manone has 9 points, Jakupovic has 8 points, Lloris has 6 points, and Foster has 5 points. So if you look at the start of that list and think it's very similar, it was last week, if I can go across to it, where Jakupovic got top and Manone got second. So this week, Manone getting top, Jakupovic getting second. It's a bit of, take that, 1-1. Who will win next week? Hopefully none, because I haven't got either of them. But would I bring Manone, Jakupovic, Lloris or Foster in? Manone, no. I think Sunderland, yes, they've been decent in the last few weeks. But how long is that going to continue for? And above all else, when will they start conceding again? That's the main thing. You've also got Jakupovic, 4 million. I'd say definitely look at bringing him in. There are a few good choices for Hull in the back line. It looks as if Marco Silva, I believe that's his name, has shot up the defence, so he looks very, very good. Lloris is your big budget player. I say if you miss the boat on Kurtyoy, I wouldn't go for him. I did heavily consider it, but a lot of people tricked me or told me to get away from it, and since then I thought, well, he was a waste of money. You can spend a few more million and get an attacking fullback or a centre back for Chelsea, so it's not entirely worth it. And Foster, I'd say if you've missed the boat on Heaton, and he's a decent alternative, and especially with the fact that he's 4.7 million, it's not too expensive indeed. But overall, Jakupovic, Foster, I'd go with your cheaper options. Lloris if you're looking for a big budget keeper. Moving on from that, we have the defence. And, well, again, weird weekend, weird selection of defenders. Kone comes in with 13 points. Ranocchia, I believe that's how you say it, scored 12 points. Valencia of Man United scoring 11, with Smalling of Man United grabbing 10. You've also got Alderweireld on 9 and Brunt on 9. Now those are the 6 I picked out. Kone again, you've got a Sunderland defender like Manone. I'd say keep clear. He's £4.3 million, yes. He's very cheap, yes. But is he going to be consistent? No. Is it safer to go with everyone else? Yes. But if you want to take risks, Manone and Kone are there. I'd say they are big, big risks because you never know what you're going to get with Sunderland. I'm not quite sure what happened to Palace. They just self-destructed at the end of the first half. Couldn't get back into it after that. But after that, you got Ranocchia, who made his debut. I believe if you're going to go for whole defender, I'd say there are better. Looking at Jakupovic maybe and get rid of one of your goalkeepers. Second best I'd say is Robertson on £4.3 million, but Ranocchia 4.5 is definitely not one to be ignored. And also if he can get more balls hoofed over like that, maybe even attack a few corners, could be a decent looking prospect indeed. Valencia and Smalling. Now I'd say Smalling steer clear because Jose's been rotating the centre backs quite a lot, and I don't think Smalling is in his plans. He's not the first choice, so I'd say stay away. Valencia though, very, very good choice. He's already gone up 0.1 since the game week started. And then we've got Alderweireld. I'd say there are better and cheaper options. Not much cheaper, but cheaper options for Tottenham. I'd either Tongan and Rose when he comes back. Walker, I think, as well, it'd be worth the money on because I think he's a quality player for FPL. And Brunt, another player that has really, really shone. I did miss the boat, although I predicted it, right before it happened. I just didn't want to get on it, and I'm reaping the rewards of that. I'm not. There's no rewards. I've missed out on him. Anyway, moving on to midfielders. And again, the weird week continues here in the midfielders section because you've got players that haven't done it for weeks and defensive midfielders, a mixture of a lot of them. You've got Mkhitaryan on 14 points. You've also got King on 13, Obiang on 13, Barkley on 12, Hazard on 11, and Ndiaye on 10. Again, starting from the top, you've got Mkhitaryan. £8.8 million for someone that, is he going to do it, isn't he going to do it? Man United, I'm not sure. It's a big, big risk and there's big money. You've got the likes of Sigurdsson. You've got so many players better and cheaper than him. I think it's a big risk. I put him in, it didn't work out. He was straight back out because I knew he was going to go down. And from then, I think he's gone down 0.3. So, yeah, I'd say steer clear of Mkhitaryan in my opinion. You've also got King from Bournemouth, scored 2 goals against Everton. Bournemouth have got a tough few games coming up, so I'd say, although he's a decent cheap option, 5.3, don't go near it, really. I'd say, there are better, cheaper options than King. You've also got Obiang. Obiang, I'd say, he's a defensive midfielder. He's not going to do that every single week, so keep away from him. You've got Barkley, looking like he's finally finding form for Everton, which is good, but he's always been an area of inconsistency around him. Will he continually do it or not? That's why there's a bit of, sort of hesitation from me as far as an opinion on him, but I do like him, and if he continues to keep his first team spot, I think he'll be really, really good. You've also got Hazard in there. He had a fantastic goal at the weekend, but will he turn it on permanently? Again, it's that air of inevitability. And Ndiaye is a weird one. I don't know much about Ndiaye. I believe he's more of a defensive-minded midfielder, but if he could be used as a battering ram, almost like Cheku Kuyate, maybe even Mo Diame to bring things back to Hull, could be really good. But £4.5 million, I think he's more of a defensive-minded player, hence why he's priced like that. So I'd say steer well clear, but keep an eye on him. If he is used further up the field, constant or in a few games, then I'd say take a risk on him. And lastly, we've got the attackers. We've got Big Rom scoring 4 on 21 points, Jesus on 13, along with Defoe on 13, and Niang got there in the end on 11, and Ashley Barnes and Diego Costa both on 8. And rather surprisingly, they are quite a way apart, but Lukaku comes in at the top with 21 points, absolutely smashed it, almost got an extra assist from McCarthy's goal. If he'd have scored that first time, it sort of bubbled into him as a second shot, so it didn't count in the end. If anyone triple captained him after that assist as well, in the money. I feel like back to Gini Wijnaldum's 4 goals last season, Aguero's 5, that sort of level. Fantastic performance from Lukaku. Would I bring him in? Well, first of all, he's a striker in form. Second of all, I'd say definitely bring him in. Make sure you don't miss this train because he isn't missing any game weeks. That can be positive for now, but I'll get onto the negatives in another video. Probably later on this week, going to be extra special videos to do with double game weeks. Hopefully you'll be tuned for that. Jesus now, £9.2 million. I brought him at £9 million after he scored and assisted on his first starts. And he's done well for me, but I'd be warned and I'd be careful if you're considering bringing him in or if you haven't brought him in yet, because he does miss 2 of the next 4 game weeks, which is huge for a striker that's going to cost you £9 million. Now, is it worth the risk? He's going to score. But the only thing is, if you bring him in, you're going to have him getting 2 blanks in the next 4 weeks. But you could also see him, by the time you want to bring him in after, the blanks have, subsided and gone away, you could be seeing the fact that Jesus actually has risen in price quite substantially. You're no longer able to afford him, or you think it's not going to be a valuable prospect for your team. So, yeah, a bit of long-winded wording on that. You've also got Defoe on 13 points, finally turning it on. It seems like quite a while since he scored a goal from open play, unless I'm just blind in terms of looking at Defoe's goals. Who knows, but he's not too cheap. I'm not sure if I'd risk bringing him in at this money. £7.8 million, I think is too much for Defoe. Niang at £6 million. I need to see more of these January signings that arrived late and making their first start. Again, Jesus, you can tell, I think Aguero's been sort of in and out. Will he, won't he stay for a long time now? And Jesus has come in and basically said, right, this is my first team spot. With Niang, it's different. It's only 1 game. There was a place open, obviously, with a certain striker Igalo leaving for China, but I'd say steer clear of Niang, but keep on your watch list maybe. Then Barnes and Costa. Barnes scored a penalty, but £4.5 million for a striker that is quite favoured by Sean Dyche. Could be an interesting one for your team to free up funds elsewhere. And Costa, 2 assists, no goal. Would I bring him in? It's hard to say at the moment, but if he's grabbing points, I'd say why not? And that happens to be that for this video. Hopefully I've enjoyed. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know, who do you think deserves a spot in anyone's team? Who do you think deserves a transfer after their performance this game week? Do you need to see more of some players, or are you thinking, there are some players I might steer clear of? Lukaku being one of them. He's the top scorer with 16 goals this season, but 7 of them has come in 2 different games. There we go. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully I've enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Couldn't think anything else to say on that. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and peace.